somebody did come in here and ask about it?
Right, yep,
One person?
yep.
Can we limit it to one person? With so many, many resources to draw on for welfare, there's a lot. And we have two separate offices to help you. I don't know how our garbage is going to help.
I wouldn't wanna get into where you have 40 or 50 people involved, you know,
Well,
then you're kinda going backwards, you know?
Well, but if the guideline is at 800, and you got 40 or 50 people making less than 800, they need the help.
No, I know, but I mean, you go to 1,000, I don't think you have that many, but, no, I'm sure some want the help. But, I don't know, if 1,500, if you'd be talking another 30, 40 people with 1,500, I don't know.
What's their do we have any recommendations for people guidelines?
Really,
Well, then we're kind of stabbing in the dark.
Let's check with some other towns.
Well, about,
Should we do that?
extra $20-some that are tacked on every, always want to know.
Let's check with other towns, see what they do. Is that all right?
Either that or check with Butler County Agency on Aging. I mean, they have a pretty good handle on that stuff. They conduct the Meals on Wheels, or not Meals on Wheels, but what do they call it? Where they go up to the community center and bring and eat lunch once a
Yeah,
week.
they have meals on wheels. I don't
Let's
know,
check on it.
1730 is going to be great.
Huh?
I don't know, 1730 is going to make or break them, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Besides, if they are in dire straits like that, there are a lot of agencies that take care of them.
Well, if you get rent assistance and home income,
Yeah.
heat assistance,
Yeah.
food pantry.
Is there anything for water and sewer utilities? I mean,
no,
you know, of any help from anybody to,
no, not that I'm aware of.
well, let's do some checking, see what other places do. See what they suggest, if they have any. Discuss personnel policy proposed changes.
I think we missed one, didn't we? Well, no, I guess not.
No?
Did you get your, is that what you had?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it's all clear, maybe it is.
What you sent me is
Yep.
what I copied.
I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at it.
This, that you got this from the state, and this covers your,
No, this is, what do you mean?
didn't you take this out of the,
No, this is our personnel policy, the current section and the proposed change.
oh, okay.
Yeah, the current section is what's in there right now. Then the proposed changes to it. if you wanted to model that work week from Friday to Thursday.
I'm wondering if it would be helpful to talk to people in similar circumstances, like, I know the county is union, but they probably got rules and regulations that govern overtime. And like REC, they have ways that they handle, because almost every town incurs some overtime at some point in time. And it doesn't necessarily seem fair to me to deny them all overtime, unless you're gonna make up for it some other way. If they have to take off the following week or to make up for that overtime that can they use that anytime, like add it onto their vacation during that year, or do they have to take it right away?
Well, you're gonna do it from Friday to Thursday, it'd have to be within that week. Unless you wanna change it.
Well, I don't know, these are just things that
Yeah,
I've thought about a little bit. It's,
depends on how you wanna do it. You know, this is just a rough draft of what we talked about last
Sure.
meeting.
and I agree with, even though I've said this 100 times, do agree that it's our job to keep overtime at the absolute minimum. I think there are some times when, it can't be, or it should not be avoided. It's almost like these guys want to call. And, I don't know, it doesn't seem real fair to do it like this. Without making up a little bit somewhere along the line, like letting them add it onto their vacation, letting them add part of it onto the vacation. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
You know, you have, I would maybe call it emergency situations. This spring, I got a hold of Kim after 5, and we went down on Allen Street, and we looked at the sewer, and to me, that's an emergency. You were off work, you went down there. I don't have a problem paying overtime, something like that, you know? That was above and beyond your day of work, to me. Now, certain things like, I know you guys check the lagoon, you check the water, you do it every weekend, you do it back and forth. You do it one weekend. A lot of other towns, they do it, but if it's your weekend, then you take a couple, 3 hours off the next week. There's no overtime pay. I think
That's a routine.
that's a routine thing, it's part of the job description. Yeah, it's a routine item.
I guess what,
I don't think anybody here is against overtime, but I think we're all against abuse of overtime. And I'm not saying it's being abused on purpose, but it's just the way it's been for years.
And I agree with you.
And-
We need to keep overtime
Yeah.
at an absolute minimum. And we need to enlist the help of these guys to help us determine what's absolutely necessary for overtime.
Would you, like that weekend, would you have a problem doing that?
What's that?
If it was your weekend to do the water and the sewer, you spend 2-3 hours, well, could be up to 4 on a Saturday, Sunday. The next week, you take an afternoon up to make up.
I don't think it's right.
You don't think it's right?
I don't think.
Why's that?
I don't think, well, like you said on the last resolution, compare the towns around, you know. You should check the towns around. I don't know, you could go to Parkersburg, Shellrock, Green, and see what they do. And I know that they all get the overtime for doing it, or they take comp time. Like for snow and stuff.
Who'd you check with, Glenda, you remember?
It was just different times like Turknet that it made comments.
Oh, okay, all right. There wasn't any around here specifically.
No.
Okay.
Well, and everybody is in the same boat. They all want control all the time, but most of them understand that there's sometimes when you just have to have it. The winter of 13-14, I think it was the city of Des Moines exceeded their snow removal budget by $6 million because it snowed every other day. And every other town around here during that unusual snow pattern had overtime for snow removal. They just had to do it. In a normal year, like last year, there probably wasn't hardly any overtime. Do you remember?
There was some.
Last year, we went out 5 times after the first of the year was off, as far as snow. But that's very unusual.
Yeah.
Only that little bit, but that was it.
Do you understand what we're trying to do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, you don't want us going out at 7 o'clock in the morning plowing snow.
No,
I mean, you people that work, factory work, like to get out of town, you know? So you probably want us to go out early,
Right.
because you wanna do your jobs and get your overtime, or straight time overtime. If we can't plow the streets, you get there 4 hours late and you only get 4 hours in, you're not gonna appreciate that.
and you know, maybe, more than likely, it wasn't, probably wasn't spelled out when you actually applied for the job, or even Al back, whenever. And it probably wasn't spelled out like it should have been, but there is certain things that are part of your job.
Mhm.
And snow plowing is one of your jobs. And I don't think anywhere along the line it was designed to be a moneymaker for the employees of overtime to plow snow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but when I was
It's part of the
hired-
job.
When I was hired, it was, I think it was like $25,000 that year. And there was other people around town that wouldn't even take the job. And you guys said that, well, you'll make up for it a little bit because you got good insurance, and you'll get some overtime during the year to make up to get it equal. And then it did work out that way. But now everything seems to be going downhill. And sure, we did have a couple of years with a lot of overtime, you know, but that happens.
Yeah, the routine stuff that they take care of every week, I think that you can trade off hours for overtime and work it out that way. But emergencies, snow plowing, I think you gotta give them a little bit.
And that's, yeah.
I mean, what's emergency snowplow? Saturday, Sunday, or Monday through Friday?
Well, I guess maybe emergency isn't the.
Emergency snowplow is an inch of snow or more.
Well, it has to be removed, yeah. But in a year like 13 and 14, when they were out every night, you know, virtually every night or every other night, plowing snow, they deserve a little extra something for those years. I know it's not an easy thing to settle, but
Well, it sounds to me, the exchange between the mayor and Kim, that's probably why you should be having Kim and Al. And then decide what we're gonna do. If you wanna come to a meeting of the mind of the employees, then that's the way to do it.
what would hurt?
Yeah, and then,
I guess
if
I'm
that ain't
just-
gonna work out, then maybe we need to look at either something like this or something similar to it.
I just like to think that we're not, using, you know, I know you use employees.
No,
That's what
I-
employment
No.
is using them. But I think we need to come up with something that's, has some fairness to it without going over. Because I know easy, I know that, it's, you know, one guy's idea is somebody else's trouble. And I'm not in favor of overtime, but when they work a lot of extra hours plowing snow, they deserve some reward for doing their job.
You know, you're,
Good-
right.
Good job.
No, I totally understand that. But you know, years ago, I was told, I don't even remember who told me that, you know, a lot of your business will include overtime at times. But somebody told me, never rely on your overtime as a wage, because it can go away as quick as it comes, you know? So,
No,
and it just, this is the case where, you know, we did this, I don't know if you're aware of it, Kim, we did this resolution here a few months ago, and, you know, that day you plowed at 7 o'clock, I totally know it was out of spite, and that will never happen again, because that's not the way it's designed to be. And our ordinance was written wrong. I guess the last time there was, in 2 weeks pay period, you guys had 23 hours overtime. And it was 50, 60 degrees out. And I understand you're getting the pool ready and this and that. And those are all weekend hours. 2 weeks, 23 hours. That's a little overboard, my feeling. That's crazy.
Well, you'll just have to look at each day, you know, like usually it's 2 hours, or 2 and 3 hours.
Right.
And I think Alan had 2 weekends. So he would have had
That's the week
some
the pool
extra.
was missing. And she couldn't be there. so
But most of the time it'd be like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours per person in 2 weeks, in a pay period. Look at him right now.
And that is fine.
Mhm.
But what we're trying to do is control this 23 hours in 2 weeks with 2 guys. That's almost another half a wage of another person. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to fix.
Well,
Because I think Al had 13 and you
Oh.
had 10. It was
Right.
23 hours
And
in
right,
2
we
weeks.
had funerals, that's right, too, so that added on the weekend. And he had the extra weekend, otherwise it would have been 10 and 10. So it would have been 20 hours. That doesn't happen very often.
I mean, that's,
I mean, we can't control funerals and stuff, too.
No,
You're
no.
talking an extra 6 hours right there.
totally understand feelings,
You know.
you know? Nope. There's some things we can control and there's some things we can't. A funeral is controlled, is not controllable. You don't know when people are gonna die, you don't know when they're gonna have funerals. Snowstorms you can't control. But to me, the checking on the weekends, you know, that is controllable. You know it's gonna be there. And the way I look at it, that's part of the job. If you pull that weekend to check water and sewer, you're gonna take a half day off next week. That's my feeling.
and I think that's that's probably, the way to do it, and then. make
But have
a
you
little-
checked other towns around how they do it?
I had Glenda check and I mean, Glenda wasn't just out there looking around, I had her check. And on ClerkNet, which gets people from all over the state, there was quite a few of them that did that, right? They didn't pay overtime, they did check the water, the sewer, every weekend. Now, Shell Rock Green, maybe they do pay overtime, I don't know.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, maybe you should do the towns right around here.
You know, we can
See
check
what
with
they
them,
do,
see what they say.
compared to going way out on the internet.
Well, or going to a bigger town where they have more help. You know, only got two guys, and the other guys are mowers.
But I mean, you get out there and every town does, you know. There's one town that, what, they charge so much to take the city pickup home for dinner or something, you know, just stupid things like that. And I'm not worried about crap like that, but, yeah. But let's check.
So we wanna talk about this some more, huh?
Well, it'd be nice to have Al here. I appreciate you being here, Kim. It's hard to talk about your wages when you're not
So
here.
we're trying to do our job. And
No,
like
I
Bob
totally
Snow, we're
understand.
trying to do our, we did it this way for,
I
well, I've
understand.
been here 13 years, and we've been doing it that way forever, you know. 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, or say if it's 10 o'clock. I mean, at one time when Al was gone, I had to plow a bunch of times.
Right?
I mean,
Right.
I just try to do my best, that's all there is to it.
Yep. And you know,
Not trying to soak the city or nothing.
well, no. But I hope you can understand what we're looking at too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the first right now, that's the way. If I work 15 minutes late, I leave 15 minutes early. Money's tight, it's,
Yeah, and
But that's a little different, because there's no emergency.
Yeah, they
there.
don't have to go.
No.
I mean, snow is emergency, they call it emergency, it's different than
right.
you happen to do whatever you do.
And that's why it's kinda hard to compare
It's
these guys
different.
to somebody who's on the regular
It's
shift.
different, but it's, I mean, if they come up and say, hey, the second shift painter called in, you gotta stay an hour late,